Atlassian Jira is the leading tool for enterprise agile planning. There are many contenders out there, but Jira is the de facto #1 tool for backlog and scope management that business analysts use. And even if you're not using Jira at the moment, your knowledge of this tool will highly benefit you as a BA. Hi, I'm Sergey Shimansky. As a professional BA, I've been using Jira for well over a decade. In this video, I'll share 5 main use cases that will help you get started with Jira as a business analyst. Let's dive right in. Use case #1, manage product backlog. Once you start a new project in Jira, your backlog is going to be empty and you'll need to fill it out. But before this, you need to decide on how you want to see and structure your product backlog, meaning what tickets and issue types you want to have. In the default configuration, you get the following issue types in a Scrum project in Jira: story, bug, epic, task, and subtask. And as a BA on a Scrum team, you'll primarily be using 2 of these issue types to compile your product backlog, and these are story and epic. Now, you may enhance this default configuration by adding more issue types depending on your specific needs. Most often, we see the addition of an issue type called feature as an intermediate level between epics and user stories. Your project admin can do this by adding a new issue type to your project configuration. To view and manage your product backlog, you need to navigate to your project, and then in the planning panel, choose backlog. Here you'll be able to see the list of user stories in your backlog and also see how they're grouped by epics. This backlog is yet empty, which is okay because we just created a new project from scratch. So let's add a few stories here. Click the Create button at the top to add stories or other tickets to the backlog, and then edit your newly created stories, add more details, acceptance criteria, or link stories to other tickets. To add a new epic, you may use the same Create button or use the Create Epic button within the Epic panel here on the left. After you have stories and epics added to your backlog, then you can assign specific user stories to epics. You can do this by either using drag and drop here, or by clicking this Epic button next to the user story and assigning it to the corresponding epic. This backlog view in Jira allows you to see the scope of your project by browsing through the stories. And to narrow it down to a specific view, you can create a set of fully custom quick filters that will only show you specific tickets. To do this, click on these 3 buttons, select Configure Board, and then go to the Quick Filters menu. And here, for example, I can set a quick filter to only show the tickets that are assigned to me or only those tickets that are in to-do status, whatever you need. The query language here is very flexible. Then to use this filter, get back to the backlog, go to the Quick Filters dropdown, select the filter that you need, and you'll see how the board is now updated to reflect the requirements set by the filter. Use case #2, plan development sprints. Of course, putting tickets into the backlog is not enough to build a product and organize the team. To do this, you need to group stories in your backlog by development sprints. And for this, you first have to create sprints and then assign stories to these sprints. To add a sprint, go to the right corner of your backlog list here and click Create Sprint. Jira will create a new sprint placeholder for you, and by the way, you can create a few sprints right away and see how Jira automatically assigns numbers to these sprints, which is very handy. Then click Add Dates or select Edit Sprint under these 3 dots and adjust the name, duration, and dates for your upcoming sprint. Most importantly, specify the sprint goal. This goal will determine which development tickets and user stories you want to include in this sprint. Great. Now, after we have added placeholders for our sprints, let's actually fill them with user stories. And you can do it in multiple ways. You can simply drag and drop stories from the backlog to sprints, and here you can select one or multiple stories for it. Besides drag and drop, you can select the stories you want to move, do the right click, and in the pop-up panel, select Move To, and then choose the sprint that you want. And lastly, you can go to the details of a specific story, scroll down to the sprint that this story is assigned to, and change it from this dropdown. Use case #3, enhance productivity with bulk change. Another great thing in Jira is the mass update of multiple tickets at once, known as bulk change. Why would I want to do the bulk change? Well, for many reasons. Let's say I want to change the status of 10 user stories that we just approved with the client, or add a UAT label for them, or whatever else. For this, I can stay in the backlog view, select the issues that I want to update, do the right mouse click, and then select bulk change. Then I need to choose the specific bulk action. Let's say I want to edit the labels on the selected tickets, so I select Edit Issues on this screen. Out of many fields that I see, I need to choose what exactly I want to change. So I'll go to the Change Labels section, leave the Add to Existing default option here, and then just start typing and adding labels that I want to add to my tickets. Once I'm done, I'll scroll down and select Next. On the next screen, I need to preview the upcoming changes to the fields and the list of tickets these changes will be applied to. Once all is good, I hit the Confirm button here, and then Jira will get me to this bulk operation progress screen. It will take some time to do the bulk changes, and once it's all done, I hit the Acknowledge button and get navigated to my backlog. Use case number 4, use boards to track your team's progress. I personally like using Jira boards to organize the work on user stories for the upcoming sprints between business analysts. To do this, navigate to your Planning panel, hit this drop-down icon, then scroll down and select Create Board. Then, for my purposes, I choose Create Kanban Board, and on the next screen, I select the option called Board from an existing project and click Next. Then I give my board a name. It's going to be called BA Sprint Readiness. I select my current project and the same project in the location dropdown, click Create Board. And now Jira does the magic and creates a new board for me. Now, to customize it a little, I'll click these 3 dots here and select the Configure Board option. There are plenty of things I can do here, but I want to add more columns to my board. So go to Columns Settings, and then add a column for Draft Stories, In Review, and Approved. Then I'll rearrange the order of these columns using drag and drop. Next, I click Back to Board. From there, I can start assigning stories to individual BAs, or they can do it themselves. The stories that are already picked up and BAs are working on them will move from to-do to draft stories. Now, those stories that were sent for formal review to the client or the product owner will move to the In Review column, and those that have already been approved will move to the Approved column. Use case number 5, connect to Confluence. Another use case that many teams go with is putting the actual requirement specifications, data models, wireframes, and so on in Confluence, which is a specialized content tool by Atlassian, and then connecting Jira and Confluence. Why do teams do this? Because Confluence naturally has superior formatting, commenting, storing, archiving, and other content management capabilities than Jira. For example, I can have a user story ticket in Jira, but store the actual requirement specifications for the story in Confluence. What I'll do is I'll go to Confluence, create a page, and put all my specification content there. And here I can use very advanced formatting and add some really cool widgets that Confluence has. I can also collaborate here with my teammates and stakeholders, and I especially love this inline commenting feature where I can select a specific piece of content and add comment on it. To connect this specification to my ticket in Jira, I'll do one super simple thing. I'll edit this Confluence page and post a hyperlink to my Jira ticket and then save the changes. And then when I go back to my ticket in Jira and refresh it, you'll see there's now this Confluence section with a mentioned on list. Now, if I'm a developer working on this ticket, I simply need to click this link, so it's super easy. And by the way, would you be interested in attending a free webinar where I'll teach these and even more advanced scenarios of using Jira for business analysts? I'm planning to create a series of such webinars in the beginning of 2024, and if so, please go to this form and answer 2 super simple questions. It will only take you 1 minute and will greatly help me put the right content into the webinar. Thank you. Tell me about your tips for using Jira in business analysis work. I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you find this video useful, give it a thumbs up. This way, more BA professionals will be able to discover it. Thank you for sticking around. My name is Sergey Shimansky. Have a great day.